Good morning, students of Prep 2 St. Joseph School. Today we're going to talk about Lesson 2 in Unit 2, the two problems that face the Earth, the decay of ozone layer and the increase in the Earth temperature. This lesson has two parts. The first part is talking about the decay of ozone layer, the erosion of ozone layer, and the second part is the second problem, which is called the global warming. First of all, let's talk about the first one, which is called erosion of ozone layer. As you know from the previous lesson that the ozone layer is found in the stratosphere layer at a height of 20 to 40 kilometers. And why this layer, the atmospheric layer, ozonic layer, why it's found in this part from 20 to 40 kilometers? Actually because of two reasons. The first reason is that in this area there are suitable amount of oxygen gas in this part, and this area it faces ultraviolet radiations. So why the ozone is formed in the stratosphere? Because it's the first layer which faces ultraviolet radiations. This is the first reason. And also it contains suitable amount of oxygen. This is the second reason. Right. What is the structure of ozone layer? Ozone layer consists of ozone gas. And the ozone gas is formed of molecules of ozone gas. Each molecule, as we can see in this picture, each molecule, it consists of 3 oxygen atoms. How the ozone layer is formed? Each oxygen molecule is affected by ultraviolet radiations to break this bond between the oxygen molecule to give 2 free oxygen atoms, as we can see here. This is the oxygen molecule, and here is ultraviolet. This ultraviolet breaks the bond to give 2 free oxygen atoms. Then, in the second step, a free oxygen atom joins an oxygen molecule to form the ozone. This is a free oxygen atom joins oxygen molecule O2 to give an ozone molecule which is called O3. So we have to understand something here. O, it means oxygen atom. O2, it means oxygen molecule. And O3, it means ozone molecule. Okay. Thickness of ozone layer. The ozone layer, the real thickness of ozone layer is 20 kilometers. But according to a scientist called Dobson, he suggested that the thickness of ozone layer, it becomes 3 millimeters if only we apply some conditions on this area, and these conditions are called STP, which means standard temperature and normal atmospheric pressure. Let us explain this part. The real thickness is 20 kilometers under some conditions, the atmospheric pressure and the temperature at this area. But if we changed the temperature, to make it 0 degrees Celsius, and if we changed the atmospheric pressure and we make it the normal atmospheric pressure, if you remember from the last lesson, 1013.25 millibars. If we make the temperature 0 degrees Celsius and if we make the atmospheric pressure this value, the thickness becomes just 3 millimeters, and this is according to the scientist Dobson. Also, Dobson suggested that the normal amount of ozone in this area, it becomes 300 Dobson units. If there is a part of ozone layer and the amount of ozone molecules in this part is 300 Dobson units, it means that this area or this part is normal and it has no decaying or no erosion. Let's now talk about the importance of ozone. Ozone protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiations. And we can classify the ultraviolet radiations into three types. The near ultraviolet, and all of the near ultraviolet, it can pass through the ozone layer as we can see and come to Earth's surface. And this near ultraviolet is healthy for the living organisms. Second type, it's called medium ultraviolet. And the ozone layer allows just 5% of the medium ultraviolet to pass, and the ozone layer blocks about 95% of this medium ultraviolet. Why? Because it is so harmful to living organisms. Finally, the third type, which is called far ultraviolet, the ozone layer blocks 100% of this ultraviolet because it's very harmful. So the main function of ozone layer is protecting us from the harmful medium and far ultraviolet radiations. Erosion of ozone layer. Why the ozone layer is eroded? Why? The erosion of ozone layer, it's caused by too many pollutants. The first pollutant, it's called the CFC, or chlorofluorocarbon compounds, which is commercially known as freon. This freon, it has so many uses for us as a living organisms, as humans. But at the same time, it causes decaying of ozone layer. We can use the freon or the chlorofluorocarbon compounds in many devices, such as the cooling substances in refrigerator and air conditions. We can use it in aerosols, the materials that kill insects. We can use it in making the foam. We can use it as a solvent to clean the electronic circuits like computers. Also, we have another pollutant for ozone layer, which is called methyl bromide. And this one is used as an insecticide to protect the stored crops. Third pollutant for ozone layer is called halogens, and these halogens substances are used in the fire extinguishers to put out fires. Finally, the nitrogen oxides, and it's produced from burning of fuel in the ultrasonic airplanes, the Concorde airplanes. It's a kind of airplanes that fly so fast or so quickly. The fuel used in this kind of airplanes, when this fuel burns, it produces nitrogen oxides, which cause erosion of ozone layer. This is the first problem. Second problem, it's called global warming phenomenon. It's the continuous increase in the temperature of Earth, which is near the Earth's surface. Is that the temperature increases too high, so it causes something called the global warming. And to understand this, we're going to conduct the following experiment. We have two bottles, bottle A and bottle B. We put in the first bottle some water, and in the second bottle we're going to put some vinegar. Then we're going to put a thermometer at each bottle, and we add some sodium bicarbonate in the bottle with vinegar. And I think you know from primary 4 that if we put sodium bicarbonate to the vinegar, it produces carbon dioxide gas. Then put the two bottles in sun or in a sunny area for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we're going to notice that the first bottle A, the temperature in it is very high, as you can see in the picture. Can you see the mercury? And can you see the mercury here? The temperature is raised in bottle A, the bottle with vinegar and sodium bicarbonate. Why? Due to the presence of carbon dioxide gas. And this carbon dioxide gas is one of the gases which are known as the warm gases or the global warming gases. And there are 5. Carbon dioxide, chlorofluorocarbon, the CFC, the methane gas, CH4, the nitrous oxide, and water vapor. When the percentage of these gases increase, they block the sun rays and they never let them return back, which causes increase in the temperature, as we can see here. The sun rays enters and reflects. When they come back, they cannot go out of the atmosphere, leak out from the atmosphere. They are blocked. So that's why it causes increase in the temperature. Let's read. When the concentration of the warm gases increases, طبعا the warm gases اللي هم الكربون dioxide, the methane, the nitrous oxide, and so on. When they increase, they act as a greenhouse gas, which allows the passing of the visible light and the short wavelength rays coming from the sun. So it allows the sun rays to come in. The earth absorbs these rays and radiates it back in the form of infrared rays. These infrared rays cannot penetrate back through the atmosphere. They are blocked. Why? Because the infrared has a long wavelength, so they are plugged. That this temperature is plugged in the atmosphere, so the heat is kept in the troposphere, causing increase in the temperature of Earth planet. What are the negative effects of this global warming? First, melting of ice at the 2 poles, which lead to increase in the level of the sea and oceans, and this causes, number 1, extinction, انقراض, of some animals as polar bear and seals. They will extinct. B, it causes disappearance of coastal areas because the water level increases. Why the water level increases? Due to melting of ice at the 2 poles. Number 2, severe climatic changes. A lot of climatic changes happen, like tornadoes, like the floods, like the drought waves, موجات الجفاف, and a lot of forests burning. And this would be everything about lesson 2, and see you in another lesson.